Hello everyone and welcome back to my Let's Play of Hiveswap Friendsim. Last time we met Boldir, a very mysterious olive blood girl who seemed to know a lot of what's going on. Like, she implied some stuff about like paradoxes and maybe different timelines or different universes or something. But anyway, somebody was trying to assassinate her for sure, and they succeeded in one of the routes, but the thing is, the stuff she said made me think, and a thing that happened made me think that our main character here, this poor soul, they somehow are aware of, on some level they're aware of the different endings that have happened even when they don't quite line up. Because I mentioned that before, like how sometimes they'll mention stuff from a good route, sometimes they'll mention stuff from a bad route. But it seems they're aware of like everything. Well, they aren't quite aware of it, but they don't realize they're aware of it, is what I'm trying to say. And that might tie into the spoiler I mentioned before, but I'm not going to talk about that yet. But I'm curious to see where this goes, because that was like the first like big hint of something like really weird going on. Anyway, who are we meeting today? If I remember right, they looked like a jade blood, I think? Or is that a teal blood? I can't tell. Okay, no, that's teal. Okay. Stelsa Sezyat. Hello. Hello, Stelsa. Okay, so it turns out stealing a car was easily one of your better impulse decisions. You've gotten accustomed enough to its weird insides by now that the squishiness doesn't much faze you anymore. This is like almost like sitcom music, or actually I've been playing Animal Crossing New Leaf a lot lately for some reason, and it kind of reminds me of Animal Crossing. It still feels like the warm stomach of some giant creature, but you actually find it kind of comforting. You can just let yourself get enveloped by the seat while the autopilot does its thing. Getting ferried through the streets of Alternia with your feet up on the dash sure beats endlessly pounding the pavement. Sometimes you even throw Sarava Stream on your phone if you really want to get a chill vibe going. You're surprised that you haven't been caught yet, dastardly carjacker that you are, but maybe you're just a better thief than you always thought. A possible career change to look into if you ever get back to Earth. The downside is that it's a little difficult for you to further your goal of gathering more friendship from the inside of a vehicle. So you'd park the scuttle buggy and expose yourself to the menaces of the outside world once more. You're in what looks like some sort of residential neighborhood. It isn't as nice as the blue blood neighborhoods you've seen, but still nice enough for most of the apartment complexes to have imposing locked front gates and security drones. But of course, you can't take a leisurely stroll on Alternia without something terrible happening. You aren't out here for very long before it starts raining. Shit, damn, and fuck. Hey, I like rain. You ditched the umbrella Torona had given you since it was as heavy as a goddamn club, and now you're super regretting it. See? Like, this is what happened in the short bad ending of Torona's route. But like, I'm sure the character will also mention something from the longer bad ending and from the good ending. Running for shelter is all you can do, so you make a mad dash for one of the building awnings, huddling uncomfortably beneath it. The rain doesn't let up. You'll have to move soon. The security drones are beginning to look like they're planning on taking a few shots at you for loitering. You need to make a decision, and fast. Try to get into one of the buildings, because we're not going to make any friends just running back to the car. There's no way you're getting into any of these without a passcode, but wait! You think you see someone coming your way. Perhaps they'll be your knight in shining armor? Hello. So what you're telling me is that my appointment is cancelled. You're still some distance away, but she's looking right at you. You point at yourself questioningly, thinking she might be talking to you, but then you realize she's wearing a Bluetooth headset. Jeremy used to be so on the ball. Remember the time he gave me a full-pronged beautifying procedure right after that high blood ripped his arm off? But now he can't bounce back from one little thresher in the abdominal sausages. What happened? That boy is losing his touch. Looks like she's coming back from a jog if the running shorts aren't anything to go by. If she's at all bothered by the acid glancing off her skin, sending dozens of little firecracker sparks in their wake, she isn't showing it. Oh yeah, Alternia has acid rain, apparently. She seems much more preoccupied by the hairy conversation he's having on the phone. Most importantly, she's power walking to the entrance of this building, which must mean she lives here. This is your chance. You shuffle along under the awning, pressing yourself close to the side of the building, bug-like. You sort of wish she'd encountered you earlier when you were dodging rain like a rad action hero. Now you just look sort of cowardly pathetic. Especially compared to her. She's striding along like absolutely nothing is going to get in the way of whatever business she's got going on, let alone a few paltry explosions. Actually, she's so focused on her call that she doesn't notice you until you're standing right next to her. Such an inconvenience, you can fully expect that I will be taking my business elsewhere from now on. Oh my, what do we have here? She transitions from hanging up the call to talking to you so quickly that makes your head spin. Take this down. Strange little hornless creature parked in front of home, very puny and scared looking. Can only be the alien everyone's been talking about. Such an opportunity. Can't go to waste now, can it? You're confused again, looking around to see who she might be talking to, but there's nobody else here. Maybe she's dictating notes to her phone. Or she's talking to herself. I talk to myself all the time. Technically, I'm talking to myself right now. Look at you. We can't have you wandering around outside like this, darling, can we? Aren't you ravishing? Do give me the name of your stylist. So good to meet you. Here's my card. The name's Stelsa Sezyat. Auditorizer in training for the Alternian Empire. Nice to meet you. Let's walk and talk. Is that like an auditor? You didn't realize that borrowed hoodie was that impressive of a look, but okay. She produces a business card with one hand and inputs some numbers into a panel with the other. You take the card. It's a struggle to process what she's saying, respond to her questions, and introduce yourself, all while experiencing the verbal equivalent of being hit by a truck. How is it possible to talk so fast without taking a breath? You can barely get a word in edgewise. Stelsa continues chattering away as she steps inside and waves for you to follow her into the apartment building's elevator. You do. So tell me, do you run any businesses on your planet? If you do, I would be more than happy to offer my services as they are very efficient and affordable, I can assure you. All your legal and financial documents will be checked over in no time. I'll make sure everything is running at tip-top shape. I'm so happy to have run into you. Ever since Zizi told me she met you, I've been asking her to introduce me. It's so very important for a professional to continue growing her network, especially intergalactically, don't you agree? Yeah, I was trying to figure out who Zizi was. She's still busy. Is it, Tyzias? She's still busying herself with her phone while she's talking to you, texting on its tiny keyboard now. The name ZZ doesn't ring any bells. You flip through the Rolodex in your brain, trying to remember. Have you really made so many friends that you're beginning to forget their names? You're a little impressed with yourself. It feels like only yesterday that you were crawling around the basement of a murderess and getting stabbed in the shin with a screwdriver, just a single friend to your name. Good times. You've come so far since then. It brings a single sentimental tear to your eye. Wait, Stelsa's own name finally starts to register. You've heard it before. This is Tyzias' mate spirit, so she must be talking about Tyzias. Okay. I do not remember Stelsa's name being mentioned before. I guess it happened off camera. Or I'm forgetting it, that's very possible. Murderous is stabbing. Very fascinating stuff, I'm sure. Yes, I'm referring to my darling Tyzias, of course. Oh, that's cute. You're at the door to her arrive. She unlocks it, letting you both in. I'm just imagining what a conversation between Tyzias and Stelsa is now. It seems very one-sided. And with Tyzias slowly just collapsing face down onto a desk. Oh, well, you have a lot of notes, and I guess the troll version of a hang in there baby motivational poster. Also some workout gear. Yep. Oh, there's Tyzias' hoodie. Yep, okay. Also, I feel like this is like one of those flowers from the Mario games or something. It looks kind of like it. I don't play a lot of Mario, I'm sorry. Come in. Welcome to Shay Sezyat. Make yourself at home. Can I get you anything? Water, grub cake, my rate sheet? I would love to continue our chat while I am a little less sweaty, and also, acid wreaks absolute havoc on my skin. You know how it is. I'll just jump into the ablution trap for a minute. Please excuse me. Won't be long. Back in 2 shakes of a quack beast gastric evacuation pillow. Actually, you wouldn't know how it is, considering that a bucketload of acid falling on you would leave you either very injured or very dead, and she's already gone. You're a little relieved. It's not that Stelsa isn't friendly. She's plenty friendly. She's just approaches friendship in a way that makes you feel a little like a line on her to-do list that she's in a hurry to check off. Or, well, she seems like she wants you as some sort of work contact, not a friend, but that's okay. You've worn many hats in the pursuit of friendship. Clown cultist, impromptu shoosh pepper, murder accomplice. Business associate is one of the tamer ones on the list. Now that you no longer have to keep up with her mile-a-minute conversation, you can take a proper look around her hive. You're not sure which more perturbing, the sheer amount of pink that's accosting your eyeballs, or the fact that everything is so painstakingly organized is making you a little uncomfortable. It's like you merely standing here is disrupting the careful order of the room. Her shelves are crammed full of books, all neatly arranged according to topic, with each topic displayed on a little label on each shelf. She also has a lot of posters featuring motivational slogans underneath, striking nature photography. The only normal-looking spot in the hive is a coffee table with a mishmash of personal belongings piled on top of it. Books, papers, a jacket. You think that might be a mug? None of these items strike you as being particularly Stelsa's style. That's because they're Tyzias's. The overall effect is that of a very pink, very neat office cubicle. You almost feel like you should start chugging mediocre coffee and complaining about how much you hate Mondays. So sorry to have kept you waiting. Oh, I like the towel. Oh geez, that is like my favorite color, by the way. Like this color right here. Stelsa reemerges, her hair wrapped in a towel. Well, it's been a blessing to know you. We should get lunch sometime. Keep the conversation going. I'll pencil you in, darling. But for now, I have a bit of a dilemma to deal with. That sounds worryingly like a dismissal. You sneak a glance at the schedule on her bulletin board. It's a blaze of color with barely any free slots. You don't want to be penciled in. You have no idea when she might be available next, and you need her sweet friendship now. Maybe whatever problem she has is something you can help with? Unless you're a ludicrously talented beautician, I think not. My usual place bumped me off their list, and right before a very important meeting, too. A girl has to look her best for these things to really knock their socks off. If I want to make arrangements at another salon, I shall have to move fast. No time to waste. Who needs a beautician when I'm around? I'm going to make you so pretty, I promise. You have absolutely no professional beauty experience, but Sarava did give you that crash course in crafting good looks. Stelsa is probably after a vibe that's a little less moisture wave, but you're sure you can whip something up. You tell her that you'll help her get ready instead, right here in her hive. Oh! How nice of you! I've never had a house call before! Let's do this! There's her Recoup Raccoon. And she has lots of products that look like dental tools. She leads you into the next room, rubbing her hair dry as she goes. There's a Recoup Raccoon in one corner and a vanity in the other, with an array of poofs, brushes, and other mysterious implements spread on its surface. Some of them are disturbingly pointy. Oh well, you're sure you'll be able to figure out what they're all for once you start using them. Stelsa takes a seat in the chair in front of the vanity, folding her hands primly in her lap. So, darling, what do you think we should do first? It's all up to you. Not this again. Why are you always making the decisions around here? Well, you wouldn't give to be able to foist your life choices off on random people you've just met. It would be refreshing. I guess let's do the horns first. I mean, they look pretty polished already. Although, is that... I don't know if that's like a... I've seen it in fanfiction before, but I don't think it's canon, but like sometimes horns are kind of sensitive, if you know where I'm going with that, so... You pick up a velvety piece of cloth, bring it up to Stelsa's head. There's only one thing this can be for, right? Wait, what are you going to do with that? Polish your horns to an impressive sheen, of course. They'll be positively gleaming by the time you're done with them. I made the wrong choice, didn't I? She grabs at your wrist with one hand before you can do so. She's deceptively strong, holding you in such an ironclad grip that you can't move your arm at all. You'd been low-key admiring her toned arms earlier, but now you know for sure that the rack of hot pink dumbbells in the living room aren't just for show. Instead of looking pleased with what you proposed to do, she looks uneasy. Possibly even a little embarrassed. Polish my... Oh boy. You barely get a glimpse of her discomfited expression before she's gracing you with another friendly smile, albeit a bit of a strained one. You know, I think I'm having second thoughts. It's reasonable to expect that an alien like you wouldn't know the first thing about troll grooming habits. My mistake, I should have accounted for such cultural differences. But it's quite alright, I shall figure out something else out. Is it just you, or was there a pointed pause before cultural differences? She's getting up again. Wait, what's happening? You thought the two of you were going to bond over a sweet makeover session, but she's pushing you back into the main area of her hive. Pretty forcefully, too. Thank you for offering your help, dear. So very kind of you, but I'll manage. Great to meet you. Just wonderful. Call me. Take care. Have a nice life. Toodles. Goodbye. She shoots you another lovely yet clearly fake smile and shoves you out the door. You'll be able to wait out the rain just fine in this hallway, but being sprawled on your ass out on Stelsa's welcome mat all by your lonesome just isn't the same as hanging out with a new friend. Oh, game over. Yeah, I think the polishing her horns is like a... I don't know if it's a sexual thing, maybe, but it's definitely somewhat erotic. Like giving somebody a very intimate back massage, I'd guess. Let's style her hair instead. The first order of business should be drying Stelsa's hair. You pick up a funnel-shaped doohickey that looks like it might be a hairdryer, fumbling around for a button. There isn't one, but you manage to turn it on by giving it a good squeeze. The mouth of the funnel opens up wide, emitting a hot blast of air along with a hoarse animal yell. You think you might actually see teeth inside? Just don't think about it too much. That's the best you can do when it comes to literally any alternating gadget. Thankfully, the noise soon fades to a low hum. Here, use this! Stelsa passes you a piece of thorny bramble. It looks painful, but when you begin brushing Stelsa's hair, she sighs happily. Interesting being in this position for once. When Tyzias is over, usually I'm the one doing this. You try to imagine Tyzias letting someone give her a sweet due. Even when it's her girlfriend in question, you're having a hard time picturing it. Stelsa laughs. She has a surprisingly pretty musical laugh. No. My dear Zizi isn't one for the involved beauty rituals. She usually doesn't let me do more than just brush it, but it's still relaxing. Sliding the brush through Stelsa's hair is pretty relaxing. You allow yourself to zen out for a moment before shaking yourself out of it, casting around for something to talk about. That's what good hairdressers do, right? Strike up casual conversation? Your eyes fall on an open book sitting on the table. It's the only object there that doesn't have anything to do with hair care or beauty, so it stands out like a sore thumb. Just like the items on the coffee table, it's strewn too haphazardly to look like it belongs to Stelsa. You think you see some of the tabs Tyzias was using on the notes for her group project. And if you look even closer, you think you catch the words revolt and history in the page header. Right, as Tyzias' mate spirit, Stelsa probably has big plans for dismantling the system from the inside too after she becomes an auditor. You remark that you think it's pretty cool what she and Tyzias are doing. It might be scary to stick it to the man like that, but someone has to do it. Okay, it's not exactly a light conversation, but talking to Tyzias about this had been so enlightening, if sad, and you'd really bonded over it. Maybe you'll be able to bond with Stelsa the same way. Does Stelsa know about it, though? But Stelsa only looks confused. Then her eyes flick down to the book just for a second before she reaches out, smartly snaps it shut, and squirrels it away in one of the drawers. The sound of the drawer slamming makes you jump, and you narrowly avoid pulling Stelsa's hair. I am quite sure I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sticking anything anywhere. Definitely not to any man. And neither is Tyzias. She's sitting straight and tense in the chair now, her voice soaring to a high, bordering on hysterical pitch. Oh no, she probably doesn't know you're on their side. Tyzias might not have told her about your conversation. It's okay, you're not going to tell anyone. You're sworn to secrecy. But Stelsa averts her eyes, a stubborn set to her chin. Again, I have no idea what you're talking about, not a single clue. Tyzias and myself are both law-abiding subjects of the Empire. We don't dabble in such foolish things as sympathizing with rebels. What would that possibly accomplish? She wrings her hands distractedly. We do things the way we do on Alternia for a reason, darling. Without the Hemo Spectrum and the roles we each need to play, why, the world would be plunged into complete chaos, can you even imagine? Trolls running around not knowing which way is up, doing whatever they please, no one to tell them what their place in the world is. She goes from hand-wringing to gesticulating wildly, almost knocking a row of jars off the table, positively frantic at the prospect of societal breakdown. It's better for everyone this way. I truly believe that. You're beginning to realize that you might have put your foot in your mouth, just a little bit. Stuffed a toe or two in that gob of yours, maybe. She sounds way too earnest for this to be a cover-up. Could it be possible that Stelsa really does side with, what did Tyzias call her, the Condas? And that she doesn't know about Tyzias' underground research at all? But the book was right there. You're so confused. Talking about this is clearly distressing Stelsa though, so you drop it, focusing on finishing up her hair instead. It's pretty soft now that it's dry. You're not sure you've styled it correctly, but she seems pleased. Great work! Nice, fantastic, you did an excellent job. You glow at the praise. You'd say thanks, but she's already passing you a ball of nail polish. She really wants you to go all the way, huh? Oops. You twist it open and get to work. You're too focused on not smudging the teal color over the stately points of her claws to talk, but Stelsa breaks the silence. I have a question for you. You nod, sticking your tongue out in concentration. So, I have this acquaintance. This is the most tentative you've heard her so far. You weren't sure her vocal cords were capable of it. They are in a quadrant with someone who harbors views most would consider subversive, if not outright treasonous. She's obviously talking about herself and Tyzias, but you don't want to point that out in case she gets upset again. So you just nod along thoughtfully. She didn't always. The mate spirit, I mean. It'll blow over at some point. She must just be going through a difficult phase. But in the meantime, she could get into oh so much trouble. Stelsa's lower lip wobbles like she's about to cry. You chew on the inside of your cheek, trying to figure out what to say. Talking to Tyzias very much did not leave you with the impression that it was a phase. She sounded pretty serious. Does Stelsa's friend have any idea that this is going on? She looks at the drawer. So do you. Nope. You resist the urge to massage your temples. No idea at all? Absolutely not. Alright, okay, you can do this. A good first step might be for a friend to face up to the issue. You know, if there's a chance that they have the tiniest inkling about what might be happening, so the two of them can talk about it. Talk about it? Yeah, you're no expert on but open discussion probably helps with the relationship problems quite a bit. Plus, you ruminate to yourself. The more you think about it, the less it seems that Tyzias leaving her controversial book out like that was an accident. It was right in front of Stella's chair, after all. Maybe Tyzias wanted Stella to see it. Stelsa, sorry. You'd slicked the less babe color onto Stelsa's pinky claw a while ago, but you're both too wrapped up in the conversation to suggest that you move on to something else. She lets the polish dry while the two of you continue to talk. But my friend does not agree with her mate spirit's sentiments. Discussing it would just cause unnecessary friction, wouldn't it? Maybe, but even so, addressing the issue is probably better than pretending it isn't there. Besides, quadrumates can, coexist regardless of different beliefs, right? Yeah, you don't sound too convincing even to yourself. But the platitude seemed to comfort Stelsa somehow. Maybe you're right. Carefully, mindful of her just-dried nails, she wipes away a few tears, much to her horror. Was that the wrong thing to say? But then you notice that she's smiling. I have not spoken about that to anyone before now. Telling you about was truly a load off my bellosac cavity. I am certain my friend will be grateful as well. I shall relay your advice accordingly as soon as I can. You smile back at her weakly. You haven't been able to relate to very much when it comes to Alternian life, but boy can you relate to relationship drama. And trolls sure seem to have plenty of it. You hope everything turns out alright, for her friend. Since her voice is all sniffly and her eyelashes still wet, you retrieve a frilly box of hand tissues and hold it out to her, hoping that will help. She pulls out a few and blows her nose on them with a sad honking noise. I should finish getting ready. She seems reluctant to get up, though. You'd probably be the same knowing you had to head into a serious business meeting after spilling your heart like that. Experiencing emotions is tiring. Eventually, though, Stelsa musters up enough energy to get to her feet. Much to your surprise, instead of immediately rushing off to complete her next pre-meeting task, she pulls you into a tight hug. Aww. Thank you. You're a real friend. And there it is. Not colleague, not potential client, but that wonderful friendship word. Friends forever! Wow, we're getting so many more rails. I love it. Let's just be pale with absolutely everyone. We're a pale slut. Why not use the extra time to do more prep for the meeting? That is an excellent idea. I visited this potential client's establishment a wipe ago, but it was a quick one and I could do well to cast my gander bulbs around the place properly. It's pretty much in the bag, but this meeting is the clincher and there's no way I can flub it. Having Ramel Namak as a client would be too good of a cluckbeast plume in my pan lid for me to chug the opportunity in the low gaper. Ramel, you totally know her. How about that? Yes, I would hope you did, darling. She's only been splashed all over the papers lately with that stunt of hers. Buying out how compared her like that? I've never heard the likes of it before. She's flitting around her hive as she speaks, snipping into what you assume is her bedroom to blow her hair dry before shuffling some papers into a handbag. You tail her as best you can, feeling a bit like a pet cat underfoot who's threatening to trip her at every turn. Maintaining a career as a successful yet relatively avant-garde artist is very different to assuming ownership of and managing a museum, and yet she has made it work. Whoa, sounds like Ramel's been busy since the last time you saw her. You clarify that Ramel is a friend of yours, actually. Stelsa stops in her tracks. Really? Why didn't you say so in the first place? You should come with me. Getting the 411 on Ramel from a friend of hers could really give me a frond up. What do you say? You're not sure there's much you can tell Stelsa about Ramel. You're pretty sure Ramel doesn't want an auditor in training, or, well, anyone really, knowing that she's an art thief. But, why not? There has to be some stray info about Ramel knocking around in the old noggin that might come in useful. Marvelous! Come on, you can tell me on the way. She takes your hand and pulls you out the door. You offer Stelsa a ride in your totally not stolen scuttle buggy. It's still raining, but she shields you both with an umbrella that's almost as big as you are as you walk to where it's parked. You get in, put some tunes on for the road, and head off. Once you're on the way, you admit to Stelsa that most of your and Ramel's conversations just involve her bouncing ideas off of you for her webcomic, but you're still happy to answer any questions she might have about Ramel's overall deal. You're expecting her to be disappointed, but her eyes practically light up. What a privilege! To be completely truthful, I'm quite a fan. I've been following her webcomic for a while. She admits this kind of sheepishly. Does she think that liking comics is embarrassing? Of course not. Okay, maybe a little. It seems irresponsible to spend time on something as flippant as a comic on the internet when I have so much other business to attend to. Lots of irons in the fire over here. Achievements don't achieve themselves, you know. Maybe, but hobbies and downtime are important too. You never feel more rested than after you've let yourself do absolutely nothing but enjoy a good comic. What? She looks at you blankly. You know, rest. Oh, I always make sure to get enough recuperation every day. No concerns there to be sure. What you're talking about is a bit different from getting enough sleep, but you try different tack. Why is she taking this job with Ramel anyway? Isn't she busy enough with her training? Well, sure, I have that internship with the Alternian government as well, but there can never be enough experience under one's belt. You're beginning to see what the problem is. You get the feeling that Stelsa might be a bit of a workaholic, just vaguely. Has she ever considered... You're so involved in trying to convince Stelsa of the merits of getting her chill on that you don't realize there's anything wrong. Not until Stelsa lets out a screech that almost bursts your eardrums. Fiddlesticks, we can't go this way. There's road work happening here. The scuttle buggy must be operating with an outdated map. Switch it to manual and turn us around, quick, quick! The roadwork Stelsa is referring to is a bridge with a do not enter sign hastily put up. Beyond the sign, the bridge is peppered with enormous holes. Some look big enough for the entire car to fall through easily. What are you waiting for? Hurry! Well, there is one small problem. I don't know how to do that. You can't drive. Oh! Fudge nuggets! Stelsa presses a few buttons, switching the controls to manual. You grab the wheel, turning it wildly. Your only goal to make sure that you don't drive onto the death bridge. You probably should have paid attention to the steep slope curving away from the road. Well, that's not good. Oh hey, it's somebody playing, I forget what it's called. The full-sized version of table stickball. You both yell as the scuttle buggy zooms downward at full tilt. Miraculously, it doesn't tip, but it does slam into a power line, sending the two of you lurching forward. If it wasn't for the unnerving lung-like airbags then plate in front of you, you would have shot out the front window. Anxiously, you ask if Stelsa is okay. Stelsa doesn't seem too concerned about whether she's injured or not. She's making a futile attempt to push the airbags out of the way so she can get out of the car. There's no way we'll make my meeting on time now. And I look like an absolute mess. She's right. Her hair, which was all gentle, soft tufts before, is sticking up in all directions and her glasses have smashed in the collision. Why did I think this was a good idea? I should have just walked. Thanks for nothing. The car might have survived the crash, but if Stelsa's cranky expression is anything to go by, your budding friendship with her wasn't as lucky. Fashion faux pas. Yeah, that could have gone better. I guess the only one left is to just run straight back to the car, which I'm guessing will be a very, very short ending. It's parked a ways down the street, but if you run fast enough, you might be able to make it. You abandon the security of the metal awning, launching yourself back into the minor apocalypse that is regular Alternian weather. You should have been able to guess how this was going to go. The raindrops are too dense for you to successfully dodge them all, and your delicate human body isn't built to withstand nuclear-ass rain. You probably would have had better luck with the security drones. Well, that didn't work. Hey, we straight up died. We saw an actual corpse. Don't we have some lovely bones? Alright, I think that's everything for Stelsa. Shay says, yeah, you managed to squeeze into a packed schedule. Alright. I like her. I'm glad we got to meet Tyzias' mate, Sprit. They're kind of an odd couple, but I can see how they would work. And I'm glad that, even though Stelsa is... she doesn't share the same opinions as Tyzias, really, and she's very, like, reluctant to talk about it, but she is open to the idea of at least trying to discuss it with her, so that's good. That's a healthy relationship. They're good for each other, I think. And I think that Tyzias is trying to convert her around to her ideas, and maybe there'll be some success there. But man, both Tyzias and Stelsa, they both need to just, like, lay down and take a nap for a while. Like, seriously. Take some me time, girls. Seriously. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!